This podcast is powered by The Plug.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hustle Bunny. I am your host, Miss August Skye,
and your co-host Hunters Stallion.
And look who we brought back.
Hey, I'm Ryan Taylor.
No, like Ryan, like Rodeo. I'm like Rodeo, the small one who just like pops up in places. Everyone knows you.
Yeah,
everybody.
And the joke is with my name, and you guys will hopefully laugh at this, Rodeo, because nobody can last 8 seconds with me. That's like a sexual joke. That's like a party joke. That's like an everything. Like nobody can last 8 seconds with Rodeo.
Our favorite.
In the house.
Yeah, so how is everybody?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, same. How are you guys
really
doing?
Good.
Yeah, summer's coming to an end very
sad
quickly.
About that.
I
Are you
know.
Sad? Are you a summer girl?
I'm a summer girl.
Okay.
I'm like hot on a boat girl.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's fair. I'm a winter kid, so like with the fall coming, I'm ready for it. I'm sitting pretty impatient.
Getting in your element.
Yes.
So I'm a hot girl hoochie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hot girl hoochie. I mean, I love winters in Denver. Like I feel like I still got cute stuff for that. But like I'm saying, like we on a boat.
We're on a boat.
We were
literally just on a boat.
We were literally just on a boat in Miami for my birthday.
Ago.
Yes, we were on a boat. That's what we were doing. But yeah,
summer money too.
Summer money. We love the summer money. I think that's the best part.
People come to play in summertime, and
they
don't fuck around.
They don't, because it's like hot. Their hands are hot. Their pockets are hot. They gotta get it out. Just get it out. Get that money out of there. Cleanse it out there. Yeah. So I guess on today's episode, speaking of summer, it's gonna be kind of like a summer wrap up for us all. We know slow season is kind of amongst us, I guess. Not really, but
it's starting.
It's starting.
Yeah.
I feel like right after Halloween normally is the time that we tend to slow down for holiday season, and then Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then there's like that lull of holiday gloom.
Yeah.
Probably up until about February or March, but kind of everybody, what you guys been up to? Especially you, Ryan. We haven't seen you in I mean, I guess I've seen you, you know, but
we've seen each other quite a bit.
Yes.
The studio
the
has
streets haven't heard from you in a minute.
Because I've been in the streets. You know, I've just been working a ton. I work a lot through summer. It's my prime, like we talked about summer money. It's my prime time working out at the ranch. Been in and out of the clubs a little bit, you know, doing my thing. So my favorite thing that's ever happened to me happened the other day. A man asked me to sign his stomach, and he went and got it tattooed.
No fucking way.
Yes. So this man has my signature tattooed on his stomach. So I have a new bar set for like love. Yes. Like whoever loves me has to get a tattoo of my name.
Yes.
Love. I think I did see that on your story, and I thought it was another person that we had mentioned who wanted to get a tattoo of your name as well too.
I'm not
sure.
Got
multiple.
Remember the guy, the youngin who said that if we were to hang out with him,
yeah, no, it wasn't him. That was funny. Yes, can I tell that story? I won't.
Of course, I didn't want to put it out there because I didn't know if that would be.
I was seeing a kind of younger guy for a little while. He was great to me. It was amazing, great little relationship we had, and he has never had a threesome, and so he told me that if I got him or if I managed to like facilitate a threesome, he would tattoo my name on his ass.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yes.
And so August so graciously offered to help me with that, and then it just ended up him and I stopped seeing each other. It never happened, but I'm a little bummed about it because to have my name, he was like, "I'll get your government name on my ass." I was like, "Damn, the government name."
Power right there.
Yes, that's why I was like, "Oh, is that the one? Did you make it happen?" Because I need the details on it. But now, I mean, getting the name tatted on you, like that's a real sign of like love.
That's
right.
Toxic love, but love.
I was like, "Oh, you love me.
Yeah,
I am your dream girl."
Or it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, like 10 years from now, when he's like married and he pulls his pants down, he got that, you know, he has that rodeo tattoo. I won't say your government. He has like the rodeo tattoo on there, and his wife is gonna be like, what's that? He's just gonna be having great flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna be having memories, and then one day he's gonna be having a beer with his son, and then he's gonna come out with that story and be like, you wanna know how I got that tattoo on my ass?
Look
you know, like isn't that just
look
like
her up, right?
You're like you're just forever
his son would
memorized.
never believe it. He'd be like, "Yeah, right, Dad."
Yeah. Okay. All right, Dad.
Yeah. All right.
Shows the picture of like you guys together, like all buddied up.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So I thought that's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I loved it, and it was funny because he had a tattoo for 2 tattoos, one for each of his ex-wives, and he got them crossed out with my name above it.
Oh shit.
So it was like, yeah, I was like, oh.
I love it.
Love
it was
that.
amazing. I was like, all after just spending like 30 minutes with me, and you want to do this? Like I said, new standard.
Yeah.
New standard.
That's magic right there.
That is. Yeah, I was actually, speaking of, so Babe Vendetta, our friend.
Yeah.
She wants to get my government name tattooed on her. And I was like, all right, I'll put the government out on there. But I told her that, because she always has those beautiful, juicy red lips. So I told her, I said, I have no tattoos, but I said, if you give me a kiss somewhere, I will get that tattooed on me.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Well, I remember when we were all partying
In Miami.
both Babe and I were like, we're going to get your name tattooed on us.
And we should have.
We were going to, but we just ended up being so busy while we were there.
It was busy. It was crazy. It was sun up to sundown. We did it all. I don't even know. I think we were just there for I was there for almost 2 weeks. But when we were all there, it was like
3 days of like, it was sun up to sun up.
Sun up to sun up.
There was no sundown. I think we got like 4 hours of sleep total.
Oh yeah, one on the boat. The boat ride was amazing. Then we got off our anchor got caught on the boat.
Oh shit, okay.
So we had an extra free 2 hours or something like that. So it was wild.
It was nice. It was a great little boat trip. It was very relaxing, mellow. We just hung out. It was nice.
We did it. But how's your summer been so far?
It's been pretty chill. I told you I did a collab for a couple weeks. I had my friend come over from Tennessee, and we did some 3-way stuff with my partner, and so that was a lot of fun.
Oh.
Kind of just been like coasting off of that content because I have all these clips I can kind of drop.
Yeah.
So that's been a lot of fun. I have another job as like a venue manager. If you would believe it, it's actually for a church, so they have no idea. I have like infiltrated.
Double life you're living here.
Yes.
I'm a double agent.
Yes, double agent.
That was a lot of fun. I finally started performing my poetry for them, so that's like a huge part of my stuff.
Oh, congrats on that.
Thank you. But I had my first little awkward moment. So like, since I've started doing porn 3 years ago, I've never felt like ashamed or embarrassed just because like porn freed me from that.
Yeah.
But I did my performance, and I have these shorts I wear. I've worn them here before, my little white shorts. And someone complained after that they could see my dick through my shorts.
Not the dick print.
I died.
You might as well have worn gray sweatpants.
You might as well.
I know. So tell me why I have not felt embarrassed about anything in 3 years.
Yeah.
And then this happens, and I'm just like still reeling over. I can like hear the conversation in my mind. So other than the embarrassment of that, we've been all right.
You want to know what? I don't think it's like, for me, I think like it's not the actual thing that's embarrassing. I think it's just like the person who had to tell you and how they have to like talk to you about it, because you're just like,
it's
you
like
know what I
getting
mean?
in trouble in school for
No, that's
something.
exactly how I felt. I was like, oh no.
You're like, wow, like that, and then you're just like, like it's cringy because then the person,
Like that person also is put in the situation where they're like,
they have to like,
hey, so we could see your. Maybe it was because like they're not as like, yo, we could see your dick.
Right.
Yeah,
They're,
come
like,
up and just like cup it
about it.
Yeah.
And so you would think at church of all places, that's where like my eyes are up here sort of deal, but they
clearly
weren't
not.
looking.
Oh, whatever.
Right?
Church is
that's where the freaks go.
That's where the freaks go.
They done partied all night on Saturday with me and Ryan over here, and then they go to church on Sunday trying to act like they didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That is kind of
repenting for their sins.
It was a little. I mean, some of them probably got something they haven't seen in a while. Because it's an older group.
Oh,
so I'm sure
they
some
were
people
peeping.
They
were peeping.
They were. Everybody was out. They were. Don't give Martha a heart attack out there now. She's gonna go see Jesus today. Yes, that's the most controversial.
She gonna catch the Holy Spirit.
I feel it. So it was a moment.
Yes, you're about to send her right on to heaven out there.
Pretty much, yeah.
But that's pretty cringy. Yeah, that is pretty cringy. So we love the cringe. Yeah, we love that though.
I needed a moment. I feel like the universe needed to humble me a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been,
take it
myself
down.
A
Yeah,
too
yes.
much.
The white hoochie daddy shorts took you down a notch.
Yes. So
damn, they betrayed you.
They betrayed me.
They showed all the right things.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta retire those for a couple of months.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we got to put those to rest this summer.
Yeah. No wonder you're ready for fall to come.
Right? Yeah, let's just bring in. But then it's sweatpants season, and that's no better.
Gray sweats?
Yes.
Oh, I love gray sweatpants season.
Oh yeah, that's it. If I don't see you with the gray sweatpants on,
that's a hoochie daddy outfit. Gray sweatpants.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Oh,
and
gray
they know too.
Oh, they know. Men know what they're doing.
Yes, they do. That's why we have like what the guys like in the summertime. They said like girls wearing sundresses because they know everything is just bouncing around in there. Yeah.
Jiggling in the booty, and then it gets caught in your booty
crack.
crack.
Yes, it's like we can see all the cheeks. We know she ain't got no panties on because there's no,
sundress with no panties on. That's summertime.
Exactly. So guys, they get us back in the fall time with their gray sweatpants.
That's our time.
Yeah, so do you have any other fun things before summer ends? Any big content trades or?
Nothing too exciting. Honestly, probably just going back to New Mexico, going to the balloon fiesta. I do have a lot of people. Of course, whenever you like get your name out there, there's always people that didn't have time for you that now want to work with you.
Yeah.
So I've been getting that a lot. Just like, you know, a lot of hot people back home that maybe I talked to them and it never went anywhere, but now they're like, oh, I'd love to, you know, be on camera with you and all this other stuff. And it's just like, I've heard that before, you know, there's like verification, there's all that other stuff.
It's not that easy.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so just, we had that conversation last week about like, you have to tell more people no than you say yes.
Absolutely.
Most people just want your time, but they don't know that it's like a business. And if I'm not going to make money off of my time with you, then why am I going to do it?
Right, like if you're kind of a nobody and you're not, like the whole point of content trade is that you're reaching different audiences, right?
Exactly.
Like you and I trade content or you and I trade content. I'm reaching audiences of yours that I wouldn't normally, aren't my demographic or vice versa. So if somebody doesn't have a following, and they're just this average person who doesn't generally participate in sex work or content creating, they're not going to be valuable in that sense.
It's true.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's 100%. I think like a biggest thing that we had mentioned last week, just kind of backtracking, just to fill you in. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, obviously, but also too, there's like a lot of people who want to do content trade just because they just want to fuck you.
Oh yeah.
And that does nothing for you.
Icky.
You know, like no, yes, no, you want to get into the industry. Okay, I understand that. How about you get your foot through the door and you do you for a little bit, you generate content, and then even if I decided that I do want to work with you, then at least that you put in the footwork and you're not just trying to be out here just trying to bust me down on camera so you can have that footage of me for you to never start a page or just to start a page and then like that's like your foot through the door. So yeah, all my the very few, I very rarely do content trades. Just because, like I said, if it's not with a person of color, because I don't get to really shoot with people of color in mainstream, or someone that I find like I had really good chemistry with, so I feel like people enjoy seeing like that real content, then I'm not really making content with people, just because my brand is solely based off of like the girlfriend experience.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, like they don't want to see me with somebody, you know, somebody else, or like, because I have like a lot of older clientele as well too, so like they like the POV, they like what they like the solo stuff, and they most generally like talking to me and seeing what I'm doing on my day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
More so than they actually care to see me getting busted down on OnlyFans, because all my content is free on the internet. Not free, but most of it's free on the internet. We could all go to Pornhub. We can all pay for a subscription to browsers.
If
so
they
like,
wanted to see like male to female content, it's accessible.
It's accessible. It's, you know, with me, my content's out there, you know, so like I said, that's why I make it pretty exclusive. But with summer coming to an end, I guess we're kind of all wrapping up on working. How about you? How about like working at the ranch? Like, does that kind of have like a slow season for you?
Real quick to backtrack, I will say too, with talking about like people who don't have any like following or just trying to like bust you down on camera, I don't create content anymore, and I constantly get requests from like male content creators, and I'm like, you didn't even look at my social media to see that I don't create content.
You would know if you looked.
If you looked, you would clearly see that's not what I do. And they're like, oh, I would love to shoot with you. I would love to do, and I'm like, shoot what, baby?
Right.
What are we shooting?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like you saw a hot girl who does sex work, and you assumed that I create content, and you assumed that you were gonna get like your foot in my door.
Exactly.
And like that's not gonna happen. And clearly, because I don't create content and you didn't look, you are just trying to fuck me.
Exactly.
And icky.
And I'm and I get so many guys. This one guy, I had to message him and, hey, could you please stop sending me pictures, because this is starting to get very like disturbing.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, I know you're trying to get into OnlyFans. I don't want to make content with you. Stop sending me dick pics. Like, this isn't like a thing. And then I was like, he kept like constantly sending me dick pics. I'm like, bro, like this is just starting to get like
also
unruly.
Unprofessional. Why would you work with somebody who's unprofessional, sending unsolicited dick pics or unsolicited content?
Yes.
Like, it's unprofessional. It shows me that you and I are not on the same caliber of content creating as well, or professionalism. And that's not somebody I would want to work with anyways.
No, exactly. That's how I feel too. And it's like, man, because like that's just very cringy. And I know that there have been a couple of people in my inbox as well too that are, I don't like this, is that it'll be a female content creator, but you can just tell that their husband or their partner, or there's like some male that is reaching out to you. And then it turns into like, oh, do you want to do girl content? And then it turns into, oh, well, will you do a girl in with me and my partner, like me and my husband, instead of being like upfront and saying, hey, like me and my partner want to do like a threesome scene. No, it's like they're trying to like sneak their way into there. Or like you're like, okay, I came here to do a girl scene, but like, you know, once you get there, it's gonna be like, oh, like, well, my husband or like my partner,
here,
like
so
he's
why
here.
not include him?
Yeah, like why not just like do it instead of being upfront and honest about it? So like that's also a big red flag for me as well too. So yeah, because I feel like everyone's kind of wrapping up on all their content. I feel like the year's just coming to a wrap, right? Everyone's closing their books, closing out their schedules.
I'm up at the ranch for the year. I have one more tour, and then I'm not back till springtime. I don't work through the winter. It's too risky. There's so much snow. We get snowed in. Nobody can get to us. Yeah. It's not worth, you know, I pay for pet sitters and flights out and food and car services. It's just the costs for like risk and reward aren't working for me.
Exactly.
But yeah, definitely coming to like an end for the year.
Yeah, I always tell people, I think I learned this just through dancing and sex work, that after Halloween, that's when things start to slow down. October starts to kind of like show you what's going on. Everyone's starting to count their money, see how much money they spent during the summertime, holiday season.
Getting ready to buy Christmas presents.
Yeah, trying to get Christmas.
Travel like whole hibernation a little bit.
Yeah, whole hibernation.
Like the Snuggie, the movies, and we kind of just chill.
Yes.
If it was a good year, we can kind of just sit for a little bit.
Right. If it was a good year, then we are enjoying our time off. If not, I mean, I get it. Like, it's been kind of a rough year around for everybody, just with like the recession and like certain places are getting hit harder than the other. Places like California, I feel like have such a, I wouldn't say like strong economy, but they have so many people out there that I feel like they've been through it so many times that they know how to manage their money, handle the situation. A place like Denver, where it's a lot of new, younger money, we, you know, tend to get, it's changing every day. It gets hard, it gets hit pretty hard because people haven't been through that kind of crises as much as a place like New York or Florida or even Vegas, right? Because like they always know how to bounce back and come back stronger. So I haven't really felt that effect so much in being in LA, but I came back and I danced in Denver. And no, I did really good. I will say that, but it's not what it used to be. As far as like last summer, I feel like when I danced last summer, it was a great and very lucrative summer that I had financially, even though I had just started my adult career. I was still working every 2 weeks in Denver, flying to LA for 2 weeks so it was like on a schedule. So I was always gone, always either here for 2 weeks or LA for 2 weeks. And even here in like the 2 weeks last year, I was having such a great time. Even like throughout the holiday season, it tended to be pretty good for me as well too, just because football, there's still conventions that come in.
Absolutely.
You know, and if there's a man who comes out to the club in the middle of a snowstorm, they came to pay for some action. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're there to play.
They're there to
pay to play.
Right. So I feel like this year, like it's been more, I've been more on my consistent, like the consistency is there. The residual is building up, but I've invested a lot of money this year into myself, like a lot of, you know, like you said, have to have like your pet sitters and your travel and all these different things. So for me, it was like investing in myself and like getting things together, moving, just paying to get ahead as far as like investing into myself, my branding, like doing all these like different photo shoots and like trying to get everything going. So it was more of like an investment year for me this year and like setting those stones, and then next year, by this time next summer, it's like all of that's going to come into fruition.
Yeah, you're planting your seeds.
Yeah, planting
next
the
spring,
seeds.
Everything's going to grow and flourish.
Yes, yeah. So we're putting the year to an end, and it's been it feels like I've had a lot of success, but then there's days where I feel like I have so far to go.
Right.
You know, so that's been kind of one of my biggest things this summer, was just like kind of going up and down, and I'm kind of like finally getting to like a plateau and accepting that I've done a great job.
But that's a really healthy way to look at it, to acknowledge that you still have a long way to go, or there's a lot of successes to still achieve.
Absolutely.
Right.
Not that you necessarily have like a long way. You've really established yourself. I mean, you won an award.
Yes, I did. Yes. I won my first award for Urban X. It was for Best Chest.
Get it.
All right.
Thank you. I have no one else to thank but my surgeon.
Exactly. Shout out to the surgeon.
I feel that.
Shout outs to Dr. Squires. He's retired now, but thank you.
They're just putting work. They do.
Yeah, I was his last patient, and then he retired. That was it.
You know what he said? This was my grand masterpiece, my like final to do. Like I'm retiring. I can't beat this. I'm retiring after
He's like,
this.
I'm done. That's a wrap. Yeah, because everyone's like, oh, it's crazy because everyone thinks my ass is fake, but they don't think my tits are fake.
So I get that same thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, and my chest, plastic.
Take it away. This is all Botox, okay?
Yeah,
and
Botox
then this is some
and silicone.
This little silicone right here. Yeah, it's funny. Even when I went back to work on Sunday, they're like, "Oh, you don't have a BBL?" No, I don't have a BBL. Since when? Not like I'm shitting on people with BBLs. It's just like no. But the titties, you guys can't tell that the titties are fake.
That's how I feel, especially like when you stretch out and you can see the implants a little more and stuff. And I'm like, come on, have you never, or like guys will be like touching them and they'll be like, I love your natural breasts. And I'm like, whose?
Once they're mesmerized though, they're not thinking straight.
Everything's going right over their heads.
You're like, who's in here with some real titties? Right? Me? Oh, damn.
Oh, who's real titties? I'm all looking around. I'm like, who? Can we bring another girl in here?
I don't think any one of our friends has real titties.
Babe does.
Babe has, well, she's always on the fence about getting some titties.
I know. Okay. Her titties are so amazing.
I know, but she's like these cute, perky little tits. But, and they just like fit her body very well. But I feel like everyone else has fake titties.
Yeah.
I think that's the first thing I noticed when I went to Las Vegas for my birthday, for my 21st birthday. I went to like a lot of the burlesque shows, and like I'm as queer as a $2 bill, but like the women on those stages, oh my God, they were like the most beautiful, petite, kind of like you said, like the plastic fantasy.
Yeah.
And they were doing like moves, they were doing work, like they were spinning upside down, and like it's definitely something when you can like serve that whole fantasy.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Because I always find that when you put work into like your body, whether it is like for me, like I do 10 miles a day on the cardio bike at least 4 times a week. I try to eat as well as I possibly can, and obviously like we all maintain like our image with like getting hair, makeup, doing Botox, doing facial care, doing all these like different things to maintain our image. I feel like it just comes with like the entertainment, and I feel like when women start to do things to their body and things like that, like you said in Vegas, it's even though they're not sex workers, I feel like burlesque is a form of sex work whether people want to say it or not. I feel like a lot of women who do get that done, they do have a successful career in sex work because they do like the idea of being feminine, and not even if you're doing it for sex work. I feel like women who do like to take care of themselves is a very feminine thing to do, in my opinion.
I agree.
I feel like when women they like to look their best, they like to get their hair done, their nails done, they say, hey, like I don't really like this about my body, so I want it to not, it's not like I don't like this about my body, I just want to enhance a part of myself that I feel like would make me feel so much more confident as a woman. I see nothing wrong with that, and I embrace that because that's how I embrace myself. Yeah. I feel like I embrace my femininity, and I feel like just like if a girl wants to be all natural, hey, like there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Is that how you feel when you're feminine? Like that's when you feel your most feminine self.
Yeah, then go there. You love your body or your image. If that's how you love yourself,
then own it.
Then I support it. Yeah. I've always been like pro do anything to your body. I always just say I think that especially women should wait to get augmentation till their bodies are done developing, which is about 24, 25. Mm-hmm. I truly strongly believe in that because your body does change so much in your early 20s.
There's so much going on.
There's a lot going on in hormonally and everything as well that I just think it's really important to wait to get those augmentations. And then I also say put in the money and the effort to find a good doctor. Yeah. Like don't go to the $2,000 BBL place. Because you're going to get botched.
Yes, you are. And don't ever, another big thing, I'm 100% with you on that too. I waited until I was 25 or 26 before I got my breast implants. I was 27.
I was 27 when I was
27. So I was like, they just turned. They'll be 3 years old in, whatever. I don't know. But I was 27. I waited till my late 20s to get it done.
So did I. I was 27 when I got mine done.
Story. So I actually had a chest surgery for a different reason. I had a condition when I was younger. It was called gynecomastia. It's not very common, but basically it's like you have more hormones when you're growing up and you kind of have like male breasts.
Yes.
And so I had that growing up and I was super like insecure about it. I hated my body. And so actually when I was 18 years old, I went to a plastic surgeon. He did a double mastectomy. he like cut my nipples off, did the liposuction, like put them back on, like the full experience. And like, it's a lot to go through in order to like be able to serve that beauty and serve that stuff. And like, I think a lot of people who've never had plastic surgery or any kind of surgery, they really underestimate like what a commitment it is to be able to go through this, and like also just to be able to be proud and to be able to own it afterwards.
Absolutely. There's a lot of shame around plastic surgeries, especially like for you, like a medical condition plastic surgery that seems like it's not medical.
Right.
There's a lot of shame that comes with, and there are like a lot of, like, I've known women over the years, you know, they go and they're like, well, I only want to get my breasts done if they look natural, because they don't want people to know they're augmented. And it's like, it's okay to be augmented. If that's how you feel the best in your body, like, do what you need to do. Also, like, breast augmentation is a gender affirming surgery in my opinion. And if that's what you need to do to have that affirmation, like, please go for it.
Absolutely. I didn't start thinking about that until I got older, but like part of the reason I didn't like my body is because it didn't match the fact that I'm a man and that I, you know, had this male form. And so now as I get older, like there's so many conversations about like gender affirming care and all of this stuff. And like, I never realized growing up that I struggled with like that kind of dysphoria because I wanted my body to look more masculine. And once it did, I felt way more comfortable. I could take my shirt off and now my ass is on Pornhub. So it's like, you need that. And so when I hear other people saying like, you know, I need to transition or I need HRT or whatever, it's like, girl, get it. Like whoever you are, get it. Because we all need to be able to feel comfortable in our bodies. And it's like, once we get on that energy, ooh, girl, nothing can stop us. But we have to get there first.
Yeah, and that also has like a lot to do with like mental too, because it's like, imagine if you never went through with that, and think about how much, like, how many more years of insecurity that you'd have to go through, or like even if you would have made the transition into doing porn, you know, would you ever been confident enough to take your shirt off and like do those things? But you know, I feel like the longer it would have waited, the more it probably would have weighed down on you and how you felt, like
the
you
mental
know,
damage it would cause, right? Like when you, because I had very, very small breasts before I had mine done, and I really struggled with feeling like a woman because people treated me like a really young girl because of my body type. And once I got my breasts done, it was really like gender affirming that I was a woman, and it still is to this day. Like I always say, like I knew I would love my breasts, but I love them more than I could ever imagine I would have.
Right.
And but it is like, you know, it weighed on me because I was like, people look at me as a little girl, and then you get into weird, like especially with that, it gets into like a really weird age thing, and then into like really gross territory when people sexualize you and infantilize you because you have small breasts. And so like to get them, like I now moved away from also that like that audience, that demographic.
Like
so it shields me from like really icky interactions about like realistically like pedophilia. And like, and so it was very important to me to get my breasts done, and I wanted them since I was 18, but I waited till I was 27, and then it was perfect.
Yeah, I was the same way too. I waited for it. I never initially had like very small breasts. I wasn't like, because you're also very petite. I don't think like a lot of people realize like you're actually pretty short. You're really petite. Like
I'm only 4'11" and 90 pounds. And like 10 of it is my breast.
Yeah, 10 of it's in your breast. Yeah, for me, I think it was like I didn't feel like they were I didn't feel like my breast size was compatible with my body size. I felt like it was like a little disproportionate to me, and I've always loved full breasts. That's been like being like like raised in the early 2000s and things like that. Like that is what I enjoyed. Like even though Tyra Banks' breasts are natural, like I loved seeing that kind of look like on the runway, and like her being like super curvy. Like I liked that juicy like look. For me, like being like feminine in my eyes is just being like curvy, juicy, like nice full breasts, like hips and things like that. So when I made that decision, I was fully grown, and I was like mentally like I'm fully grown too, so can't nobody tell me shit. And I know within myself that like I've loved myself enough, and I was like, okay, like this is just gonna be the icing on the cake. Now you can't tell me shit.
That's how it was. I got my titties done, and I was like, oh, you can't tell me shit.
It's over.
Like,
it's over for you bitches.
It was like everything was talking with the titties. What?
Oh, always. What did you say?
Hello.
What was that?
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry, I dropped that.
Yes, it's like when you get married, when you get engaged, all the girls are like this. Yes.
Yeah. But it was nipples and titties.
Oh yeah. And
so
these
is
things,
it fair to say the investment has paid off?
Absolutely.
I will tell you guys, this is probably one of my biggest like fucking success stories, I guess you would say. How do I say this? I'm gonna gloat about this a little bit.
Please do.
I paid $10K for my titties to get done, right? Pay for it in cash. I made that 10K back like after 3 nights of being in the strip club, like my first night back.
Okay.
Because it was the titties. The titties were tittying when I came back. That was like the quickest investment I think. I guess I broke even. But I feel like, well, now I got ahead because the money was just flowing. The titties was bouncing. The money was flowing. I feel like that was the quickest investment I'd ever gotten back in my life.
Yeah.
First week back, made that shit back. Got them titties and made that shit back.
Amen.
Yeah. Well, I guess I took like a month off from like, because you can't work for a while. But yeah, I came back in and they were like fucking flies to shit.
And
the men were like flies to shit.
Paid off, like not just financially for me, but like emotionally and mentally, it's paid off. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it's taking me into my womanhood. It's taking me away from really icky situations. And then financially, like I made my money back so fast.
Yeah, you make it back fast. And
I lost a lot of clientele. But it was clientele I was happy to lose because there are a lot of men, especially in the strip clubs, who don't like fake breasts. There are a lot of men who like small breasts, you know. So I lost that clientele, and there are a lot of men who like younger looking bodies. So I did lose those 3, but I gained people who like fake breasts, people who like large breasts, people who like womanly bodies. So like it was a trade-off essentially. And I will say, the more womanly you are, the more money you make. And by womanly, I mean like grown woman.
Yeah.
Because men don't fuck around with you when you're a grown woman.
Ooh,
yeah, it's like
needs to hear that.
No, it's true. I feel like I mean,
little girls, men fuck with little girls. They don't treat them right. They don't give them the right amount of money. They play games with them in the club. When you have a grown woman talking to you, like there's no bullshit.
Right. They they know what this is.
Respect us. They treat us well. They know that the money has to be on the table. And there's no playing games because, like, I'm not going to let you fuck around with me. Like, fuck around and find out, basically.
Right. We ain't got time for this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it'd be the same thing for you, too. Like, if you're to date, like, a younger guy, you're like, or, like, I don't know if you've ever dated way older than you at a certain point.
Older more.
Yeah. So, I've always dated older men.
Same.
Right.
Minus that one with the threesome. I've always dated older men.
I've always dated older men. I don't think anybody on my roster has been younger than me. Maybe like once or twice, like on set, but like I've never like willingly in my own personal life, I don't think I've ever fucked a guy younger than me.
It's weird because the older I get, like that age moves up where it's like if you're not more than like a couple years older or younger than me, then like I can't do it. Like it's very strange.
Because I don't know how it is for you. Like when you were like younger, what was like the oldest that you dated? If you don't mind telling us, like what was like the oldest you dated and how young were you?
Fucked around with?
Just fucked around with.
Because those are two different things.
Yeah.
I was in my 20s. I was with a guy in his 50s.
Okay.
But he did lie about his age, and it didn't even. The only thing that bothered me was that he did lie. I didn't mind the way he looked, but he said he was in his 40s, and when I met him in person, I was like, you ain't in your 40s.
Yeah,
so someone's catfishing.
Yes.
Right. But I have had a partner that was like maybe 10, 15 years older than me, so I was in my 20s, he was in his 40s, and so I liked that dynamic, that kind of security. But sometimes they can be a little rigid, and so you kind of have to like teach them how to have fun sometimes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's different.
Did you ever feel like, I guess this is kind of more of a personal question, did you ever feel like you were ever being manipulated by some of these older men? Not manipulated, but like the fact that you were young and like fun and bubbly, they were kind of like, or they would try to tone you down in a certain aspect?
I don't think so. I think because I always knew what I wanted and what I wanted to get out of a situation. And so, if anything, I was kind of the one who was more in control just because I knew I was young and desirable.
Nice.
And people liked that. And so there was like a cool dynamic. And I liked an older man because I liked the security. And so it kind of worked for both of us, I think.
That's rare. Usually at a younger age, people aren't aware of that, of like being able to harness their power and say like, I am young and desirable and I'm in control of this. Like people want me. I'm the target, you know, audience.
It's powerful. You got to own it while you have it.
That is. I think for like women, unfortunately, I think a lot of men, they tend to like younger women just because they kind of feed off of like insecurities that we have,
and they can shape them,
and they can shape
like
them.
I said, grown women you can't fuck around with, right? Grown women know what they want, they know what they desire, what they need. Young women are still figuring it out, which is part of life. That's not like a jab at them by any means. We've all been a young woman, like who was learning our boundaries and, you know, fucking around with older guys who some unfortunately had malicious intent. But
it's different. It's funny that, and I don't know if that's just like within like your community or if that's just like you're just a rarity in this situation.
It could just be a rarity. I mean, there's
might be a
rarity.
rarity.
In the gay community
I was gonna say because I don't know if it's just also like the like two males and like that kind of that energy exchange where it's like that it's still masculine energy because you still are a male, right? Yeah. So maybe I thought because it's like two males dealing with each other, then it's like, okay, they're not gonna quite take advantage of you as much as it being like a male and a female, because the male's like ego, the power dynamic
implies are so different.
And I didn't mean that like in an ignorant way by any means. So sorry if that came off as like some crazy, because I was just kind of thinking, I was like, oh well, maybe because we're women and like the guy's older, they're like definitely gonna think like, oh, this girl needs me, you know, I'm gonna do whatever I can because like she's naive to what the world is. Well,
there are the power dynamics of men over women across the board societally. You know what I mean? We see it in workplace, we see it in sexual situations, we see it even in friendships, we see it across the board. And so I think like male to male, it kind of challenges that a little bit because they're at that same power level. Like one doesn't necessarily have the upper hand.
Right, exactly. But we're just gonna call you a rarity, baby.
That's fine. I'll take
just
that.
A rarity.
Yeah, a rarity.
Yes. So that's nice. That's awesome. But yeah, it's been a good summer. We did a lot of learning. We're still doing. I feel like we're doing a lot. We're wrapping up the whole summer, but we're wrapping up our mental health too, right?
Yes.
So, with that being said, what was some of your guys' favorite moments this summer? Top 3 moments you guys had, just in general.
Gosh,
my summer was wild. Did a lot, traveled a lot, been out here living my best life. Speaking of older men, but you know, I have a couple older men on my roster. I'll keep it very vague at that right now. But I've turned 30 this year. It took me a second to own that, but I turned 30, right?
And we love it. 30.
We love it.
30, 40, and thriving.
21 is sounding real crazy.
21 again.
21 again, and I say I turned 30, and I feel amazing. I feel confident. I feel my best self. But turning 30, and then like talking to guys like in their late 30s, early 40s, I'm like, so we're in the same age group?
Yes.
That's what I consider it, right? Like we're in the same age group now.
Absolutely.
You know? So I was like, oh, so like do I gotta go up to like 50s? But like I feel like when you start to hit, well, my dad's still in his 50s, so that might be a little bit too much for me, a little too much like little close to daddy issues right there. But with that being said, I'd say like I had a great summer. I met some amazing people. A couple of weeks ago, I'd say about a week ago, I got invited to go to a dinner party at Lionel Richie's house.
Okay. Oh, wow.
That was fire. Had an amazing time, got to network with some amazing people, saw some like, you know, it's weird when you see celebrities in real life, like, it doesn't quite connect how you know them.
Yeah. Because they're just chilling.
Because they're just like chilling, right? So then you're just like, like I know that person. And it's like, how do I know that person, right? And then they're like looking at you, they're smiling. I'm like, hi, you know? And that was also like a learning experience for me too, because like going in there and being with the industry, people who are like in mainstream industry, and like they have these huge, amazing names. And then be like, hey, like, what do they like? Because the biggest question is like, what do you do?
Yeah, everyone's always first question.
What do you do? Who do you know
here?
Yeah, like it's like, oh, and then the crazy thing is I used my government name when I was introducing myself to people, because I was like, I'm not gonna go down the path of like whatever. And everyone looked at me like my government name was my stage name.
Really?
Yes.
They did, because like my government name is just so kind of like, it's a unique name. It's a unique name, right? So everyone was like, oh. And then like I got like a couple people were like, oh, and I was like, okay, so you guys think this, but like it is that, but like I know what you guys are thinking that I do and how I got to this party, which is partly true, but not. Like I was actually invited.
You're like, I didn't, you know, have to fuck my way into it.
I didn't fuck my way into
this.
I was invited. Yes, I'm not someone.
I belong here.
I belong here, right? So, but everyone was super nice and super kind, and that was a beautiful experience. I had the best 30th birthday.
Yeah, I would say that was one of the highlights of my summer was doing Miami with you.
Yeah,
and
Miami.
Babe.
Yeah, you and Babe, and then I feel like that was the best. Those were two very amazing things. And I would say the third thing would be finally letting go of my past relationship and just fully focusing on myself and like letting that kind of die out in as healthy as possible as I could possibly do so. I feel like, as you know, my partner, it was just kind of like time to just let that dissolve.
Yeah,
and we've been trying to do that.
Let it go.
In the industry, trying to support a relationship, especially like for me, my partner also does porn, and we do it together, and so it's like very leveled. But like, if someone doesn't do it, there's always like that struggle of trying to see if they can really handle it, because some folks just can't hang. They just
and it's nothing against them. They try their hardest, and ultimately they have their own things to work through with it.
Right.
And it's I think that when you're a sex worker, it is a lot to ask of a partner to not to be okay with it, but to thrive in it with you. I think it is a lot to ask. It is a very difficult industry to work in and have a partner that accepts it and thrives along with you.
Yeah, especially when we're like, you know, financially independent and we're, you know, doing our thing, because not everybody can handle that. And, you know, if you're in a traditional economy, which is kind of like a labor economy these days, you know, it can be a little bit of a disbalance between the two people.
Yeah, so I think it was, I think it was just like time to really just like let that go.
And I'm so proud of you for that.
Yes, it just got it got bad for like the past like year and a half. It's like I've tried everything to fix it, and I found out that I was really just weighing myself down with like having someone else's weight of the world on your shoulders as well too. And once you start feeling like that, then there's like no love. It's just kind of like you feel like I felt like I was kind of stuck with this person because society say, oh, like you're a sex worker, there's not going to be anybody that's going to accept you again. And then there was a part of me that was like, yeah, there was love there once, but I just don't feel that anymore. And I'd much rather take that energy and focus on me and my growth and my happiness, and
instead of being weighed down.
And I think a lot of people think like, oh, like you guys just broke up, like you single-handedly fucked up your relationship because of doing adult. And it's like, no, I don't find it like that. It just was something.
There were underlying problems that were just brought to the surface via, like, the vessel was adult work, but there were underlying problems.
There's a lot of other underlying situations there that like you said, it was brought to the surface, and that just couldn't be when you feel like you're the only person trying to resolve the issues and trying to like do it the healthy way and do all these different things that we think would help the relationship, and it's just a one-sided kind of like a one-sided thing, then that's when you really start to lose interest, because it's like I really tried, I really put in the work, I really put in the effort. So I think that was a big release for me, and that has definitely helped me be a better performer, be more present. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Be more present in my current life. Be more present in all my endeavors. And so that was probably the 3 best things that have happened to me this summer.
That's huge.
Nice. Yeah, huge things.
Yeah, all amazing things. So how about for you guys? We need these top 3.
Yeah, so I moved into a new place. I kind of told you about that.
Yes.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Gorgeous views.
I've been living here in Denver for maybe like a year and a half, but the first place I lived in Lodo was just absolutely terrible.
Trash.
Like you know, and so it was nice for 6 months, and then someone bought the building out, like another company, and fired all the staff.
Flip-flopped everything.
Yeah, I've never had that experience before, but just these past couple months, we live in like kind of Golden Triangle area now, and we have like we're on the 12th floor. It's a sky rise. I have like a whole view of the city. Like
beautiful.
It's amazing.
Oh, it's
and like,
gorgeous.
you know, I grew up, you know, super poor. Like my dad was a drug dealer, so I never thought I'd have like anything like that. And so even to be in this city, to be in Denver, was like a dream come true. And then to have this view like every morning, to see the city that I've always like dreamed of, like it's really fucking awesome.
And having a nice living situation is so good for your mental health and like your physical health, which is always affected by your mental health. Like having the right living situation is so pertinent and like important to your thriving.
Yes, and like you know, I won't lie, it's a little bougie and like it feels good. Like
doesn't it feel good to have like a bougie place?
Yeah, like there's a concierge downstairs, like it's always waiting. I have a coffee machine.
Yes.
And, like, you know, it's just really awesome. And, like,
love that.
Love that.
You know what? I feel people are like, oh, you know, you're working and you're trying to do this and this. It's like, I don't care what anybody says. It's nice to have nice things.
I don't care. Things cost money.
Nice things cost money.
Put guilt and shame on you when you buy nice things. Like I drive a really nice car. I know you do as well. And when I bought my luxury car, people always do that thing like, I would never spend that much money. Well, then don't.
Good for you.
You don't even have the money to spend on it. Let's be real. You don't even got the money. You ain't even got the credit.
But you know what? Let's be real. My Range Rover is fucking nice.
Yes, exactly.
And I drive it and I blast my music and I'm doing hot girl shit and I'm driving around with my girlfriend.
And you love pulling up in it. Yes.
And I love pulling up and I love driving my friends around in it and I love showing up and showing out. And I used to live in a luxury apartment, and when I did, I loved having people over. Yeah. Like, look at this beautiful view I have. Like, it feels good to have nice shit.
It does feel good to have nice shit, and we work hard for nice shit. It feels nice to say I went to like this store and I bought a designer brand thing. You know what I mean? It's nice
like
to
I
go
worked
in
hard
there.
and I'm treating myself.
Yeah.
It's paying off.
And
Yeah.
what's that quote? Is I'd rather cry in a Rolls Royce than on a bicycle.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell
That-
yeah.
That's the vibe. Like,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
vibe.
It's
that's
like I
what
always
we're
joke when
doing.
people like try to make sex workers cry or like bash us.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll cry and wipe my tears with my $100
For
bill.
real.
Oh yeah, I'm
For
gonna
real,
cry
while
with your
you're working
husband's
9
money
to
on my
5.
face. Come on, we're
Yeah,
going. Yeah,
like
your
I'm gonna
husband-
bat my tears with the
yeah.
bill. Like,
Bills.
let's be
For
real.
real.
Yes, and it's like if it's not for you, it's not for you. But don't shit on the people that it's for.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so that's great.
Yeah.
That was it. You moved to this beautiful apartment.
My man just got back from Hawaii. He was doing some work out there. He grabbed me my first designer bag, which I'm like super.
Oh, let's
Oh,
see
is
what
this
brand is it.
Balenciaga?
Oh,
Oh,
the
to match
With the
the hat?
Macy's.
But like now I got a little bit of that sugar baby treatment. I'm like, oh my god. Like,
Now
once
keep
you-
it coming.
Yeah, it's like
Yes.
there's buying your own bag, but when someone buys it for you,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh
my
yeah,
goodness.
it
And so
is.
that's what I was gonna say. Oh, earlier when we were talking off air, we were talking about Cadence Owens.
Mhm.
Candace Owens.
She's never had a sugar daddy.
No.
Very obviously, like no one has ever bought her a designer bag. She's never felt what it's like. But
No.
Not even her husband. If your husband
Right.
haven't bought you a bag, honey, is she even married?
She is, I
Is
think.
she?
I think
Good
she's
for
married
her.
because I'm pretty sure she's a wife and a mother.
Oh,
her.
yeah, that's a great title to have, but
But like, if you're a kept woman, you better be getting spoiled.
Right? It
Yeah.
feels good to be spoiled, and
It
some
does.
people need to learn that. And yeah, it's been nice. So it's been a good summer for me.
I
It's been
love
fun.
that. You know, on that note, I will say this. I will say that there are men out there who want you to be a wife and a mother. Okay, let me back up. Let me backtrack this. And I feel like well, you're getting your first sugar baby experience, so we are loving this. But when it comes, Ryan, I will say this specifically. I was thinking about this. There are a certain kind of men out there who want certain kind of things from women.
Sure.
Okay, there are men who will come up and tell you, you ain't got to work, you ain't got to do nothing. I don't want you to be smart. I don't want you to be anything. I just want you to take my money and spend it. You know why?
Yeah.
Because my job is already high risk. I already have to deal with all these different people. I don't want to have to come home and then deal with my spouse
Right. They want
yelling at me.
consistency.
Yeah, they want the consistent, fun, hot girl who they do
Experience.
experience, right?
And when, especially men, like heterosexual men and like AMAB males, when they are in those like CEO positions and stressful jobs and they make that high roller amount of money, they want their way of spoiling themselves is by having the trophy wife, by
Yeah.
having the bubblegum
Yes.
sugar baby,
Yes.
by like that's how that to them is a status quo, right? Like to be able to pay for your companionship is a really high-end thing.
Absolutely.
And so those guys specifically, and not just them, but specifically in this, instance, that's what they want.
And there's
is
nothing
that.
wrong with that. It's like you got your designer bag, you're
Right.
feeling real good. There's a man who wants his designer girl on his
Right.
arm, and he feels
he's
real
happy
good
to
about
pay for
that.
her.
And he's like, I don't care if she's dumb as a bag of rocks. I don't care if all she does is suck my dick. That's what I want because I don't want to have to think about anything when I come home. I want to think about how great my wife is or how great my partner is and like how she makes me feel relaxed, how she makes me feel good, how she makes me feel wanted, how she makes me feel masculine, when we're talking about like a heterosexual
Yeah.
male. And then there's the men who say like that are very successful and they say, I don't know how to talk to women. Or my job takes up so much of my time, or like I've always been kind of quiet and nerdy and shy growing up. So I guess like they're gonna fall in love with the first like girl that they meet, or whether it's like a sex worker or not, or
Right.
maybe they do go online and do sugar dating because like they don't know
It's
how
safer
to
for
approach
them.
it. Yeah, it's
Also,
safer for
like,
them.
There's no strings attached, right? Especially if we want to specifically talk about sugaring, right?
Right.
There's no strings attached. You get exactly what you want. You don't have to be good at dating.
Yeah.
Because the situation's already set up, right? Like if you're my sugar daddy,
You
or
can
you're,
just skip to it.
we just skip to it,
Yeah.
right? You tell me I'm looking for A, B, C, and I go, cool. I'm looking for X, Y, Z.
and if they
And if it matches, it matches. If not, you go along your way. But there's always like something out there, right? And like the financial exchange of it is fine.
Right.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that because then you think about it too. Let's say Candace Owens was a stay-at-home mother who didn't work and she's that. Okay, but what's that between that and a sugar baby, right? Just because we have a price on top of it.
Right,
You're
just
doing the
because
same-
I'm getting handed the
Much,
cash
yeah.
every month compared to my husband just
Puts it in a
paying the
bank account or
bills, puts it in
something.
your
Yeah.
bank account. Like all relationships are transactional.
They are.
Absolutely.
And if there's someone bringing more to the table than you, or vice versa, you're bringing more to the table than the other person. Like there is transactional things. There's like someone can only do 80-20 for the bills, or maybe someone's doing 100%, and maybe you just cook dinner or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they always say, love is unconditional, and I think that's bullshit. I think love is very conditional, right? Because you need things from your partners, and sometimes in this instance, the condition is money.
Sure. And security that comes
The
with
security
the money.
that comes along with it, right? And being taken care of and being kept and like spoiled or like gifted nice things when you deserve it and you've done a good job. Like, there are conditions to love, and people who don't have transactional relationships, there's still conditions of you're gonna do the dishes and clean the house, and I'm gonna work, or you're gonna take care of the kids. Like, there are conditions to love, and some people's love is just financially conditional.
My therapist told me, she said that love doesn't hold together any relationship. They said love is like, if you love your partner, then you're going to help financially, you're going to help them emotionally, you're going to help do all these other things, because just love itself doesn't float a relationship. That's the basis of a good relationship, because love shows up in different ways. Love shows up in, hey, my partner can't do this for me this week, I'm going to pick up the slack. Hey, I love you. I'm going to help you put gas in your car. Oh, I love you. Can you help me with the kids? I love you. Can you do this? I love you is not just, hey, I love you, and because I love you, like everything's going to be okay.
No, it's work. Relationships are work, and love is work.
And love is so many different forms than just what people think it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and
there's platonic love, there's romantic love, there's, you know, love within workplaces, there's love within animals, you know what I mean? But like, it is, you do have to pick up the slack sometimes for your partner, or compensate and do that. But like you said, it is sometimes my partner can't show up that much this week, so I'm going to make up that part of it, right? It's not always 50-50.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it is 50-50, sometimes it's 100 and 0.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's about finding the balance, and as long as it teeters back and forth and both partners are putting in the effort, it works.
Exactly. So, and then the love looks different for everybody. And I think that's what we were talking about, I guess, wrapping it back around to Candace Owens, because she had made a statement that actually had a couple of your friends on this podcast stating that basically what she's saying is no man on the face of the planet is going to want to date a sex worker before, after, or during doing sex work, right? And one of the girls who did respond said, well, I'm not looking for a relationship right now because I'm working. That's not my goal. I'm not looking for a husband. Right. But she said, at the end of it, of course, like when I date somebody, if I start looking for a relationship, she said that is definitely a conversation that we're going to have, and that's up to that person if they want to be with me or not based upon that. But like, it's not like I'm just not going to be honest about that, because if you see me pulling up in a Range Rover and you ask me how I made all this money with it myself, and I can't say like, oh, like
I worked at McDonald's.
I worked at McDonald's, I was an assistant. It's like, no, like I'm going to be honest. And yes, of course, there are images, there are videos out there that will never be taken down. Yes, we all made that conscious decision when we decided to do that. Just like you can make that conscious decision to say, hey, I want this kind of person in my life. No, that's up to the person who you're sitting down and talking to. Just like, hey, if there's a man who says, I want to date you, I work at McDonald's, this is what I do, I can say yay or nay if I want to date somebody who works at McDonald's. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I think the girl had also gone on to mention that she has been more picky with her dating. It has given her a platform to say, I get to pick and choose who I want to date, because the copious amount of men that are coming up to me and saying like this, and this. And she goes, my standards have been elevated because of like me doing sex work. I can say that for myself as well too. I have been approached by some of the most affluent men who want to date, who want to be a part of my life, who want me to be their trophy wife. Yeah. And it hasn't brought down my dating. It hasn't taken me back. It hasn't changed anything. If anything, it's made me more confident. It's made me more desirable. It's made me more like the guys that know that they want me are the guys who are going to be confident within themselves. The guys that do financially are stable enough to say, hey, like, yeah, I'm going to go to this store and this is the girl that I want.
Yeah.
You know, I want you, and I want to do everything right to make it, because I know what you're about. I understand like your business. I understand like the hustle. And I understand that you're independent, and I know if I make my way over here, I better come with twice as much. You know?
Also, for me, like, I would never date somebody or be with somebody or marry somebody who wasn't super accepting of sex work and the fact that sex work is just work. Yes. Like, morally, if they weren't okay with it, then we wouldn't be partners, because we wouldn't align.
Yeah, it just wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. So it also weeds out the people that I wouldn't align with morally or like substantially, like in our values. And so it weeds those people out, and it brings in the people who I do have the same values with, the same morals with, the same like moral compass, and like what we consider like labor. You know what I mean? And so it's like it weeds those people out, and I think that is a bonus to being in sex work as far as like dating goes.
Yeah.
Right? Because like if someone I don't want to date somebody who's like, you're cheating on me when you're at work. No,
Right.
I'm not. It's work. I'm not cheating on you.
And I relate to that too, because like I make a lot of like hardcore niche fetish content.
Right.
And it's like it's out there, and so it's like if you see that and you don't like it, like good, stay the fuck away from me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
'cause we're not gonna jive well, and like I don't like people who are that sensitive anyway. So like it works for everybody, and so I feel like one of the weird benefits of porn is it kind of, like you said, it shields you from certain kinds of people that you don't want to be
Yeah.
around, whether that's too sensitive or people who infantilize the body in the wrong way. Like all of those things are things that we block ourselves out from when we really take that agency of being like a performer, being a
And the
sex
autonomy
worker.
that we give ourselves, it's really important.
And I find that when people who have like a business mindset, they tend to understand us better because they understand that this is a business and there's a lot of money to be made in this business. So why not?
And then they respect us as business people, like, which just elevates like more the idea that sex work is work.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then they respect us, and because they're business people, they want a partner that aligns with their business morals.
Exactly.
And they see that we do.
Exactly, because I will say that some of the guys that I've talked to, or like I've I don't know if like dating or whatever, some of the guys that I have on my roster, I would say, that because I'm busy, I think they like the fact that it's like, okay, she's busy, she got her own thing going on, I can go do the things I got going on. I know that she's working, I know that she's doing these things, and then, okay, when I do have time off, just know that that time is just for you, you know,
And
like
it's
understand that. And that's
special.
very special, right? Because, you know, the weeks go by fast, summers are busy, and I tell myself, like, look, when I set aside time to be around you or be around this, we're going to go do all these things, like, yeah, then that's our time that we've
it's
established that. It's
intentional time.
intentional.
Like
Make it last.
I'm not just like hanging out with you because I'm bored and not doing anything.
Exactly.
When I'm busy, when I'm booked and busy, that little bit of free time I have that I make for you, and I expect it to be reciprocated. And I expect you to respect that time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And not just like blow me off or like be willy-nilly with our time or our activities.
Exactly, because it is, I mean, it's a hot girl business.
Yes.
It's a hot girl
it
business
is.
out here, and it's a full-time commitment. And once you commit yourself, like I always say, our body is our job. We don't
Absolutely.
I can't go up and sell you like I mean, I guess I could, but I can't just sell you a t-shirt, right? Because I am the product. This body is the product. Me showing up on set is the product. Me going to the strip club, this is the product.
Performance we give, the performance all of us give.
Yeah, the performance that you
Absolutely.
give, the everything that you do, it's just physical.
If you're talking, especially because you do OnlyFans as well,
Yeah,
correct? Like when you're interacting with clients or like customers or people who are buying your content, like through chat, like that's also like that's you selling your time and your
Absolutely.
personality and your entertainment.
Your availability, all of that.
Yeah, and it's a curated business. You've curated your brand and how you sell yourself.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you guys, I know we're getting to that time. We're doing our wrap up here now. We're doing it all wrap up. Yeah. So all my
I feel like we
baddies.
talked about so much
We
today.
did.
We
This is a good one.
did. This
Yeah.
is
Just
great.
say we got 3 bad bitches in the room right now. Like
This is three of
this
Denver's
is-
finest.
for real.
Are you kidding us
This
right
is like
now?
a moment.
This is a
appreciation.
moment. Yeah. So do you guys have any hot girl summer wrap up for you guys? What's your last little bit?
I just say keep it hot even through fall, right? Like
I like
feisty
that.
girl fall.
I like
Right, what was it? I think it was it's got hot girl summer. What is it? Thoughttober.
Thoughttober,
Ooh,
I
yes.
think it's
Thoughttober.
I can
Thoughttober.
support Thoughttober.
See,
Okay.
and then I forgot what it is. I think it's called Feral Fall.
Feral Fall.
Yes,
Girl-
feral girl fall.
Feral
I
Girl
like Feral
Fall,
Girl
and
Fall.
then
Keep it feral, bitches.
I don't know what we're doing in winter, like Scallywag Winters or something.
Something like that. Something like that.
Wild winters.
Wild Winters.
Wild girl winters.
But yes, we're in Thoughttober. We're headed. No, we're still in September, so we're headed for
We'll be there
Thoughttober.
soon, though.
We're
We'll
in
be there.
Sextember.
Sextember, yes.
Yes.
So yes, we never really go back into hibernation. I guess we just kind of put a little bit more clothes on, and we'll
Yeah.
just go to Miami or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, we just wear like the boots with tread on the bottom
The
instead of
Gucci
the
shop doesn't close. It just
Yeah,
flies
it just
south for
fly.
the
Yeah, we just go
winter.
south for the winter. We're all like, yeah, we're going into hibernation. No, it's
You
just like
know.
things are just heating up.
Right.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you got to stay warm in winter, right?
Yes.
A little friction to keep you warm.
right.
Absolutely.
And I got these titties to cuddle with. I know you guys are cold out there. Come and give me
Right.
a
I'm like,
cuddle.
come nuzzle in.
Yeah,
I
come
will say,
on.
I feel like winter winter sex hits different. Like when it's
Ooh,
cold
it
as shit
does.
outside and like, just like.
Because you ain't got
warm me,
nothing else
envelop
to
me.
do.
Yes.
That's why there's all these summer babies.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
They said
I'm a summer baby.
I'm a
Are you-
summer
There
baby.
you have it.
Are you winter baby?
I'm Aquarius, so
You're
February.
February.
Oh,
So we
that's
little
why we
back.
get along. I'm a Gemini and Aquarius
I
and
see
Gemini.
you. I see you. I fuck with Gemini.
Oh, I
It's
fuck
a
with Aquarius. All my
vibe.
favorite people are Aquariuses.
That's what's up.
I'm a Virgo. We must.
Virgo.
I
Okay.
like female Virgos.
Yes,
Female Virgos.
yes.
Yeah.
I think it's only because like I only hang out. All my friends have big personalities: Aquarius, Gemini, Virgos, and I think Babe is an Aries. And I feel like
Oh.
everyone who has, because I'm very reserved and very quiet when I'm by myself. Like people don't realize this, but like people are like, oh, we thought you were a bitch or something. It's like, no, I just don't talk to people. So when I have big personalities around me, it brings out my personality.
That's
So I feel
good.
like I can be myself.
That's
So
good.
You were
yeah.
so quiet before we became friends. So the way we became friends is I walked up to her in the club and I went,
Okay.
"Are we gonna be friends or not?"
I love that.
Yeah.
And she
Yes,
looked at me and I go, "All of our friends are friends. Like, what's your deal? Why aren't
Yeah.
you my friend?"
Like, let's get it figured
and
out.
she was like, "Oh no, okay, yeah, we could be okay."
And so
All right,
what?
that's all it
That's how you
took.
do
Let's be
it.
friends. Yeah.
I was like, "You aren't gonna pull the bitchy card with
Yeah.
me. Let's go."
no. And I was like, it's not like I'm a bitch. It's just like I just look like a bitch.
Right.
Or maybe it's also too because I think when I told you like I started working in strip clubs, I worked at like the Mean Girls strip club, so the girls
Same.
were not nice. You
Yeah.
don't go up and be like, we're gonna be friends. It's like,
It's
oh
like,
no.
Imagine like being on stage and dancing mad though. Like, why would you want to do that?
It was
Right.
very catty. It was like the
Yeah.
clubs I started at. Like some of the clubs are very catty and they're very like could be very cliquey.
That's a thing
Okay.
in the South, I think.
That's a
Okay.
southern
Because I
thing.
started in the South dancing also, and the clubs were mean.
Yeah, those
like,
girls
you
are
did
not
make
nice.
friends.
No,
Okay.
you just came
They're
there to make
all
money.
Just out to get it.
Yes, and then if you did find someone that you clicked up with, like that was it, and you guys just stuck to yourself, and then
Had
yeah.
the alliance going.
That was the alliance. But yeah, so we are headed into Thoughttober. So I guess that's the next time we'll be filming is for Thoughttober.
Let's get it.
All right.
And I feel like we got to do like a Halloween costume
I'm
episode.
down. We
Oh,
can
yes.
Get spooky, get scary.
Yes.
Maybe show a little.
The little skin. Me and Babe, we're gonna do. Babe looks like Uma Thurman,
Ooh,
very
okay.
sexy Uma Thurman, like Black Bob. We decided that our Halloween costume is gonna be Uma Thurman and Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction.
like
and then I'm
that.
supposed to be John
And she's
Travolta.
gonna be John Travolta. So
Can I
we're
be the
pulling
girl
up.
overdose? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna get the little mustache.
Yes, I'm gonna do the
You're
sideburns.
gonna do the sideburns. I'm gonna do the mustache, and that's how. And I'm gonna get like we're gonna like still. I feel like we're still gonna do like a full face of like cute
Oh,
makeup,
beat face.
beat
I like
face, and then I feel like I'm just gonna wear like a suit jacket.
Yeah.
You know, and
And
then
I'm
we
gonna
are.
wear like a black suit with the white button down because that's what they wear when they go
Yes,
dancing.
yes.
And Babe was like, "We get to do the dance together." You know when they like
Do
do
Oh,
this,
yes.
yes.
I
and
love
when they're
that.
dancing. But
Uh,
they were telling me that, and we were cracking up in Miami. And I was like, the three of us two with big
Yes,
old titties,
titties.
showing
Do
up in these
it.
men's costumes.
Just boom.
Just boom. Like, what are you gonna? I love it's like the flop of characters. Like I love when
Yes.
women dress up as male
Yes,
characters
like
and
the
men
gender
dress
bending.
the
Yes.
gender bending.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it's called.
Yeah,
I
that's,
love that.
and there we are. That's how we're coming to the studio,
And there you have it.
and we got to get you a part of Pulp Fiction too.
Yeah, I'll do the Mia Wallace like bob and weave kind of going on.
That's
there.
that's Babe.
Right. Oh, is she
Babe's
doing that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
'cause
okay,
she's got the
it.
bob.
She's got
Then
the
I gotta
bob.
be.
Who's the
I don't-
man? Who's the man from the opening scene? Remember they're like having the conversation in the diner, and they're just like,
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Because they like stick up the place. They
Mhm.
do like a robbery. I could do maybe one of those people.
we're doing it though.
could
Pulp
do it.
Fiction,
Pulp Fiction.
2023. We're winning all the
we should have
Halloween
like the
costumes.
four of us on, dressed up together.
Yes.
Could do like a whole scene, do a little reenactment.
Yes, let's do it. No, that's how we're gonna do the
I
show. We're
love
doing the
it.
little dance. Yes, but with that, you guys, I guess that's the wrap. That's summer. Summer's came and gone, and we did it.
We did it.
It was fast.
Yes,
It was
ma'am.
fast. That was a fast summer, but we did it, and on to the next, on to the finishing of the year. So, with that being said, my little bunnies, stay hustling, and we will see you guys next time.